All right. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to H&M Sports Academy. My name is Mo. This is Harry. This is Heartbreak Harry. And we are here today to talk some big-time NFL action. This is the playoffs. It is survive and advance, but it is also win home. And unfortunately, the Bears got very, very, very close, but they got off the wagon this past weekend and fell short. And classic game, and Soldier Field, and overtime. An amazing game. So
we're gonna talk about this the Bears game. To your point, I had to keep things in context. We had a great season. I'm glad you gave me the time. I told you I needed a couple of days to let everything settle before I got up here and said things. And I think I got a clear view of the season and where we need to go, where we need to get better. And I'm excited. I feel really good about Ben Johnson at his post-game press conference today. I feel really good about where we got to go and what we have to do. And I have a lot of clarity on some really significant moves that need to happen. I think Bear Nation will be surprised at some things that's going to be coming our way around our roster.
Well, and we'll certainly get into it. So we don't want to steal the thunder to talk about everything.
Little teaser.
Yeah, for sure. It was a heck of a run there. My Cowboys got off pretty early when it came to staying on the wagon here. So glad to see your Bears at least have a nice little run there. And did a lot of great things. So we'll certainly get into all of that. And we're going to say,
I want to say something real quick too. Before we move on, I'll be really quick.
Yeah.
To that point, the fan base, the team, it rejuvenated the city. And this team rejuvenated the fan base. There was somebody I want to actually. Hopefully, I get a chance. We can connect with this couple. It was a couple on TikTok who I was following. Her name was Courtney Williams, and she was just following her boyfriend's journey as a Bears fan. Yeah, and they kind of chronicle, from each game how he would watch the games and the emotions, the ups and the downs, and at the end of the season, and it made me think just about how much this team changed the narrative of the city and gave the Bears pride again. And he took the loss hard. So I'm hoping if we could ever get some guests on here, he'd be someone who I would want to come on here just because you get true fans and we get true Dallas Cowboy fans, true Chicago Bear fans like ourselves to see the pain. He took the loss like he was on the team, and she was there kind of consoling him. So I thought that was pretty cool. But it just, looking at the landscape of just bringing pride back to the team, I felt really lucky for this year because it put us in a situation to where we can be proud of the Bears again. Overtly, right? Overtly.
And that's the thing. And we'll certainly, get into a lot more of what that means as we recap the season and everything and close that chapter. But as we know in the NFL, there really is no off season. There really is no end. It's all a constant, it's a conversation. It's like a constant thread that continues to run. It's just the regular season is just the byproduct of all of the things that go on in the off season, which gets you ready for the regular season, which gets you ready for the off season, which gets you ready for the regular season. So, so we'll certainly hit into all of that and move into that. Today, we're going to recap all of the games that occurred. There were 4 games, 8 teams left. So 2 games in the NFC, 2 games in the AFC. And we'll just kind of go in order and talk about these games and some of the highs and lows there, some of the feedback there. The first game was on Saturday, and it featured the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, McDermott, traveling on the road to go play the Denver Broncos, the number 1 ready to go. And this was a great game because you have Josh Allen, who's seasoned, who's got multiple playoff victories and also playoff appearances. And there's this kind of underlying story about no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, and so you're the most experienced quarterback in the AFC, the most seasoned quarterback, probably the most talented quarterback, maybe the most NFL. Yeah. And you have this opportunity to make a run. So that was kind of the backdrop, along with Denver being the number 1 seed, a young quarterback, and seeing if Bo Nix could become a little bit better. Last year they played each other, and this is a rematch, and they scored their first 7 points against Buffalo, and then after that, Buffalo literally boat raced 31 unanswered. Yeah. So that was the backdrop here, and you got into this game. And I think when I looked into this game early on, what I initially saw was Buffalo looked like they were ready to go, and they looked like the better team. They looked very poised. They moved the ball. They scored. But something continued to happen in this game in which every time Buffalo had an opportunity to move the ball, make another play, extend, add to what they had, it was a turnover. And Denver's defense is very, very game. They're one of the best defenses in the league, which is why their coaches are being looked at. Vance Joseph system. They're the number 1 sacking team. But the thing about it is they don't create a lot of turnovers. They get a lot of sacks and stops, but then create a lot of turnovers. Right. So you think, okay, if you can't sack Josh Allen and he won't turn it over, he's going to be tough to beat. So what did you see in this game on your end, just the way it was flowing, and why it kind of went the way it did from what you saw?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with. I felt like Josh Allen was tight, and when the narrative around not winning the big one, not being able to get over the hump, Buffalo. I thought, from my perspective, Josh Allen versus Bo Nix, you should win that matchup, right? And I think from my perspective, Josh Allen felt like I had to do this on my own, and he stopped trusting his teammates. And a lot of his style of play was so reckless. I don't understand it. I don't get it. He's been getting a pass for years on it around the looseness of the football, whether it be through the air, whether it be with him running the football. He goes into Denver, and to your point, they're not a huge turnover creating machine. They're sound. They run up, they tackle, they rally. They're not stripping at the ball because they want you on the ground. They want you on the ground in the sense that they don't need the turnover if they get you to punt the ball. They look at the turnover as the turnover on downs and making you punt that ball and give it away. Give it back to them.
Get off the field.
Get off the field. So no Lamar, no Burrow, no Herbert. I think that's the name you were probably searching for. No Herbert, right? With the Chargers.
And Mahomes.
No Mahomes. All of the big dogs were out of the way. And this was Josh Allen's time to step up and do what he needed to do. And as you watch that game, he made some really, really careless mistakes with the football. Before the half, I don't know. He's running with the football and he has it. I would get on an 8-year-old quarterback for running with the football that way. These are things that you learn at the very core when you start playing that position. Protect the football and guard it with your life. And Josh is out there, playing like he just, in the backyard without a care in the world. And they give up 10 points in 60 seconds, right? And you and I both know in playoff games, those types of mistakes end your hopes. And this is a theme with him. And this is why, he's had some rough breaks too. Don't get me wrong. 18 seconds, with Patrick Mahomes coming back to kick a field goal to get 13. Them to overtime to beat them, or 13, whatever the number was. That shouldn't have happened either. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we all know every game has a theme. Every game has a certain, flair of the dramatic. And this is one where it didn't have to be in place, because you talked about the strength of the Denver running game. They were running it like they wanted it to. They were throwing it like they wanted to. The only thing that was going to stop them in Denver was themselves, and that's exactly what they did. Multiple turnovers. The end of the game, I'm sure I'll turn it back over to you to kind of talk through, some of the pass interference calls. And obviously the big play was I thought it was a catch, and it was one of the few. I watched a lot of football in my life. Normally the tie goes to the receiver. Every time I've seen it, especially when your knee goes to the ground, and that didn't go their way. So there was some controversial, plays and things that went against them. However, it shouldn't have got to that. And Josh has been getting a lot of, passes from Orlovsky and Chase Daniel and the ESPN guys where they've killed Hurts and Lamar and the other, I'll say it, Black African-American quarterbacks who didn't play as poorly as this. They had they made no bones about it, saying that those guys either lost the game or should be, more accountable for poor play. And somehow Josh Allen has skated this year with sympathy. He got up and cried at the podium. I'm not knocking the crying because that means I think it means he cares. But I also think he's crying because accountable. Yeah, he held himself accountable. But at the end of the day, that's where the tears were coming from. He knew that was unacceptable, right? Yeah. The way he played. So that's really what I saw. It was a tale of all time just not being able to get over the hump and get out of your own way because of bad habits. And that was just him not protecting the football. It's a terrible bad habit that he has to get over.
It really does. And the question has always been with Josh Allen is, can you get the spectacular without the negative? It's always been the case. We've gone back years with this. When you see him and he gets into Superman mode, puts his cape on and starts to do things that are above grade for even the best quarterbacks, just the way he can break tackles and scramble and run. He's got a cannon for arm. I mean, his arm, I love watching him throw because the ball just jumps out of his hand. He's got an amazing arm. We'll talk about that Caleb Williams play when we get to it. He's actually one of the people who I would say has the ability to make that play. I mean, it's literally only a few people in the entire planet that could do it.
Maybe he's one of them. He's one of them. Yeah.
And so to have a guy with that type of talent and really have control of the game. I mean, the game, Denver was in it and stuff like that. And I will say Bo Nix made some pretty decent plays. He made some spectacular plays and some few catches, but Denver had a drop early on. They dropped a touchdown. They were not above being pregame jitters or postseason jitters. They made their mistakes, but it just seemed like no matter what, Josh Allen just continued to and it was out of the blue. It wasn't like, they got to him. The only thing I will give him, I won't fault him for the strip sack after halftime. Because remember, you said 10 points. It was actually 13 points because right after halftime, Benito gets a strip sack fumble and they turn that into 3 more points. Right. So that was 13 points, in which out of those 13 points, only 7 of them was earned by Denver, really. Okay, and if you take those 6 points away, you don't even have to do all the craziness stuff down the stretch, right?
You don't. Yeah, he's the guy speeding through to light. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's getting to the light. You see him speeding ahead of you, and you're doing 60 and weaving in and out of traffic, and he gets there safe. And then he finally, 3 miles down the road, you see him sitting on the side of the road in an accident with his phone out, waiting for the cops to show up. Right. He had some of the mistakes that he makes and some of the risks that he takes. Yeah. It just doesn't add up to it being, logical as to how it's going to help your team win a football game on the road. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the thing with Josh, where I don't know if we can take that out of him. Right. Brian Daboll was the only guy who I think was able to really curtail some of that, what I call just boneheaded recklessness. And that's a coach grabbing you by your jersey and saying, cut it out. I don't know if they have a guy, Brady. I don't know if he has that kind of moxie. Daboll is a fiery guy anyway. I think he needs to go back to a coach like a Brian Daboll, who's going to snatch him back in line. Because if you just give him the keys to the Lamborghini, he's like a kid, man. You give him the keys Ferrari, and every time you bring it back, it's got a new nick, a new scratch, something on it, because he just doesn't know how to be careful and conservative with that type of responsibility, right?
And once again, it wasn't a scenario where Denver had run away and hid with the game. The game was back and forth. It was well within striking range. They had the opportunity to have leads. And then on top of that, you had certain mistakes that were made that are just traditional mistakes. I mean, he had Secure an opportunity to hit Secure on a little smoke route out to the flats. And if he has that ball and has a little bit more height on it on third down, he breaks the tackle and goes into the end zone, because he actually did, because the ball skipped off the ground. He tried to pretend like he caught it, and he got in the end zone and scored. So the same thing would have happened had he threw it better, but he didn't. So that was a mistake, just a normal passing mistake. But you take those mistakes, you take when he had the tight end Kincaid wide open, missed him. So you have those.
I'll double down on that. Philly, same situation. Back of the end zone.
Yep.
He just whiffs on a throw that puts them in a different, maybe they're not on the road in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, maybe because they could have won the division. They could have won the division.
Yes.
And they could have been at home.
Right.
And so, no one wants to think about that. Guy was wide open. And so it's hard to blame someone on those situations, because that's just user error.
Normal football. Yeah, that's normal football.
That's football right there. But the unforced errors of the interceptions, when you're forcing it in there, and then on top of that you had a fumble. And the only thing I can say about Cooks, I mean, Cook is an excellent running back. He's number one running back rushing wise in the league. You cannot, as Warren Sapp said, do not put the church's money on the carpet.
Can't do it.
Okay? You have to hang on
to the church money. You can't take the building fund to the casino. I tell you, you can't do it.
You can't.
You can't do it.
And so they all took turns.
Yeah.
They all took turns giving it up and keeping Denver in the game. And the reality is, if you just cut those mistakes in half, the game is still yours. That's the crazy thing. You're playing a number one seed on the road. Yeah. And if you just cut down on some of your mistakes, you still get out of there with a W.
But this is where we talk about the leadership. This is where we talk about your quarterback being the calming force and the one who shows you the way, right? When you have a history of what I call falling short, and we have historical context of teams and quarterbacks who tried to get over that hump, and they finally did get over the hump.
Yeah.
And normally when you see a Steve Young, when they ripping that monkey off his back, for our followers who are a little bit older who know who Steve Young is, when you see John Elway, helicoptering it through the air in the Super Bowl, these are the types of plays that you need from Josh Allen. You can still be risky. You can still, toe the line, but at the end of the day, everybody understands that our head guy ain't gonna be the one we lose this game, right?
Right.
If anything, he's gonna show us the way, because you're right. In the course of a football game, there's ebb and flow, there's ups and downs, there's gonna be mistakes made. The other guys get paid too. However, the quarterback holds the ball the most. He controls that, and when you miss touchdowns, when you bounce passes that need to be what I call routine plays, when you as a running back, it's gonna happen. I don't think, to me, Cook, he's not a fumbler of the football. That's not his natural state. But in that moment, it happened. Josh Allen running all willy-nilly with 13 seconds before halftime, fumbling the ball and giving up 3 points is reckless and it's careless. And I personally feel, when it happens, it's that here we go again mentality, right? And that doubt creeps in. And for teams that continually lose in that fashion, a lot of people try, Deion Dawkins, the left tackle, was crying as well. And, he's took it very hard. In his mind, he's like, Josh didn't let us down. We all collectively, dropped the ball on this. They got a coach fired. Sean McDermott went to 2 AFC championships, multiple divisional rounds, and he's gone. Yep. All because of what I call just like you said, the product of the NFL being a tough place to win.
Yeah.
The Mahomes of the world, the Lamar Jacksons of the world's besting you at times. But when you get these opportunities, they don't come around often.
No.
And you can't have these types of mistakes. With what was on the line, Josh needed to play what I call pretty much a flawless game to walk out of that stadium with a win.
And at the same time, he didn't, because there were so many opportunities that if he's so talented that even if he just cuts down on some of those plays and just keeps it clean and just gets out of there with a punt or just a regular play and keeps the ball and doesn't turn it over, they still probably eke out of there with a win. And that tells you how many plays he did make. We're not going to sit there and talk about they had the opportunity to win that game multiple times and put that game away. As a matter of fact, like I said, the Shakir catch, if he catches that, that's an 8-point lead with very little time left. And Denver has to go down there and score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to get to overtime. And probably can't do that. And so the opportunities there were just abundant. And that's because you have a guy like Josh Allen and a guy coaching McDermott who kind of cleaned up some of this stuff. And yet and still, every single time they get there in the divisional round, almost every time there's something that happens like this. And at some point, the Brandon Beans of the world are like, okay, we just need a reset. We just hit this wall and we reset. And that's why McDermott is gone. And that's why, Josh Allen was so upset, because I think he knew at this point, you're going to cost someone a job by not doing it.
Yeah. And we'll move on, but I'll say this. I played the position. I played quarterback, and I was a mere mortal at quarterback. I had the intelligence. I didn't have the physical attributes and the physical skills that a Josh Allen has. And this is what you get with those when you talk about the 1 or 2 or 3, players who can make certain plays on this earth. It comes with a certain fearlessness and arrogance, right? That I can make every play. I can do certain things to that other guys and other players can't do. And that's where I think Sean McDermott's, and I'm not knocking him, I think it's just the reality of he has to reel that in, and he never could get Josh Allen away from that damn sun. Eventually you fly so close to the sun that you get burned. And in those games, to your point, if you just button it up and pick your spots and kind of understand, when to take those risks, Josh Allen, for some reason, he doesn't have that filter. He doesn't have that ability to feel the game. And that's really what I was thinking about with him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the awareness, and we call it SA, the situational awareness, to kind of understand when I need to turn that on. And in that game, it really is you leaning into, things that are unnatural to him.
Yeah.
That smoke screen, to us, it looks simple. It's simple if you have the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
But when you are off balance, when you're off script, when you're constantly, I call it, you call a play and then it turns into a second play. Everything is so reactionary, and it's his superpower, and it's also his demise, right?
And the reason why McDermott had to go, for those of y'all who are questioning that, it's real simple. He's a defensive coach in which the defense was oftentimes not very spectacular in the playoffs. That's number one. And unfortunately, he's a defensive coach who has this mindset. I'll take care of the defense, and I just want my quarterback to save the day. Honestly, if you want to look at Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, that's how he coached. Hey, we're gonna have a great defense, and let's let Ben Roethlisberger go save the day and take care of that. And so and that's a winning formula, and sometimes, and that will get you there, but it's not sustainable when it comes down to it, unless you have Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's why I say I'll push back on you a little bit to say that it might have worked 15, 20 years ago. Now,
yeah,
not as much, because the teams that have won the Super Bowl have been offensive-minded coaches, right?
Yeah.
And the defensive-minded coach, that's the Achilles heel of a defensive-minded coach. You saw it, we'll get to it, D'Amico Ryans, Tomlin dropping like flies, McDermott, all of them dropped like flies, and it all looked very similar of how, they went out, right?
Yeah.
You can delegate certain things, and I'm starting to become a firm believer. Defensive coaches who don't have someone who you can trust to uphold that responsibility. Tom Brady was a special guy, because he understood, and he was effectively a coach on offense for 16 years in New England. His competitiveness, his ability for being prepared. You don't get that every day. And I'm not knocking Josh Allen, because, there's only one Tom Brady.
That's right.
But I think that's the model that works when you get a quarterback that maniacal and that with that understanding of the game to help a defensive-minded coach do his thing. I got the offense and I hold us accountable, and it works. And, in this situation, you're right, McDermott, eventually he just ran out of time, man. You only get so many cracks and opportunities, and you get five or so great shots at it. Eventually, Brass looks around and say, "We need another voice in here, or we need we need a new structure to try to see if we can get us over the top." A la, when they brought in Gruden for Tony Dungy, another defensive-minded coach, right?
Yeah.
Who got
so Denver pulls this game out, walks away in overtime, only to have their quarterback Bo Nix break his ankle on his play before, second to the last play of the game. And so here you are, he's out, season-ending ankle surgery, and now the Denver Broncos are playing in the AFC Championship game without their starting quarterback, and Jarrett Stidham is going to be. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. But that was a recap for that game.
Another quick fun fact: guess who the only team in the NFL who didn't have their backup quarterback take a snap?
Probably Denver.
Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
That just shows you how cruel the football gods can be cruel, man.
Well, it couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened to a better guy when it called Sean.
Here you go.
His smug ass at halftime. The team. This is where the teams that got wrestled. It'll pay off. It didn't pay off in the first half. It'll pay off in the second. It didn't really pay off at all. Josh Allen just gave y'all some bunnies, and y'all took advantage of it. And then that didn't pay off at all. To be honest, there was no Buffalo didn't look tired at all. They had nothing to do with it.
Denver looked like the inferior team all day, really. It was an unfortunate loss. It was a very unfortunate loss.
So we're going to get into this next game. The San Francisco 49ers, who traveled up to Seattle. And to be honest, the amount of time it took for me to talk about the preview of this game is about how long San Francisco was alive in this game.
Wow.
San Francisco kicked the ball off to Rashid Shaheed. And after that, you could have called the band and went to timeout and basically sent everybody home, because that thing was over.
Cancel it. It was
gone.
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers were out of gas. They were out of men, out of manpower. They traveled to Philly all the way on the East Coast, came back to the West Coast, and had to go all the way up to the Northwest. That's a 5.5-hour trip at a minimum. And they fought hard, they played hard, but they did not have the horses, and they got boat raced. That game was ugly. And so I don't know what else you want to say about that one, but did you see anything different there with Seattle?
No, we nailed this one. We talked about Seattle having 2 weeks of rest. The only thing that really had a little bit of what I call a little bit of doubt was Darnold's oblique that he mysteriously hurt Thursday, and they said he hadn't thrown a football. And we knew he was going to go. And to your point, didn't even need him, because before he even got on the field, he already had a 7-0 lead.
That's right.
Seattle, I've said it, you said it. They're the best looking team off the bus. Their running game is top notch. Their defense is top notch.
Yeah.
McDonald at the helm of this is a defensive coach. He's different. He's different. Go ahead.
Some people say that McDonald is the defensive version of McVay or Shanahan. That could be a very true statement because he has shut down Shanahan multiple times. He is as creative a defensive mind as Shanahan or McVay is offensively. And that's really what it takes because they are a problem on that side of the ball for sure.
Hey, the proof is in the pudding. The aggressiveness, their film study, they were sitting on everything. Purdy, I've never seen all that. I wanted them because I was tired of all that dugging and dancing. I didn't hear not one Soulja Boy lyric. I didn't see him smiling and grooving and he was uncomfortable all day. And to your point, I thought McDonald had that team offensively and defensively ready to go. I don't have a lot of experience with him other than what I heard. I know his time in Michigan. I know his time in the Baltimore Ravens. He's beloved and he's beloved in how he relates to the players. He's beloved in his preparation. And they looked just like a number one seed. I told you, oftentimes we forget about the number one seed during wild card weekend. He quickly woke our ass up and said, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. So not much to say other than it was almost just it felt like a walkthrough for them. Just kind of a prep for the NFC Championship game. They were very just buttoned up in their scheme. Didn't see many mistakes. They looked clean in execution, not a ton of penalties. And it was hot knife meat butter when it came to San Francisco.
Yeah, and unfortunately they had an injury to their running back.
Charbonnet
got injured, so he's out. I think he had a knee injury, and it definitely is something that he's going to be out for. So
he's done for the season. They said he's done for the year.
Yeah, I thought so. The way he went down, the way he was hurt, he's pretty much done for the season. So he's out. And so now you have Walker there. So I don't know if they have another third.
Man, they got that ball of muscle Walker, man. He running around with a neck roll.
It's crazy, man.
He out there running around with a neck roll, scaring people, man. Like a damn badass kid or something.
Bowling ball full of butcher knives is what he is.
Man.
Yeah, it's tough. So so that's gonna be interesting. So they punch their ticket, and then we forget that short porch. Man, you're the number one seed. All you gotta do is go jump on that divisional round. You are sitting in the NFC Championship game just like that. I mean, it's just happened so quick, and
that's why you fight for that.
That's why
seed because that's why sometimes you get a buzzsaw coming in, right? You get a hot team coming in that's healthy and they're fresh in the sense of their execution and they're feeling good, and it'll work against you. In this case. Sometimes you get a team that's limping and kind of, running out of gas. Yeah. And that's exactly what they got. And to your point, that short porch, they were done by the third quarter effectively. So you really look at the miles and the wear and tear on their bodies is minimal as they go into an NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I don't agree with people that said, Seattle got an advantage because they played on Saturday and the Rams played on Sunday. I don't believe that because the Rams didn't play on Saturday. They rested. So they didn't expend any energy on Saturday while Seattle did, and then they expended energy on Sunday while Seattle didn't. So they got the same amount of rest just on different days. So we'll get to that also, but that sets up the Seattle Seahawks going into the NFC
Championship. Yeah.
Yep. And so that leads us to Sunday. A snowy, bad weather day, both in the Midwest and the Northeast. Basically, the same weather was all in that area of the country.
Wintry, I think it's called a wintry mix, right? They call it a winter.
Yeah. It was a cold front for sure. Mm-hmm. And man, what do you say about the New England Patriots hosting the Houston Texans? Other than the fact that we had a very similar situation with the quarterback for Houston that we did with Buffalo, only the quarterback for Houston was even worse. There were no good plays or positive plays when it came down to him. And and had he even been half of that, they might have still had a chance. But it was not to be. The New England Patriots defend their home turf and defeat the Houston Texans on the strength of a couple of good plays by their quarterback, who is also an MVP candidate.
Right.
And the demise and unfortunate play of Mr. Stroud, CJ Stroud for Houston. So Drake May played well. He played like an MVP, even though he had a lot, and I mean a lot, of pressure on him. The Houston defense, if Seattle defense looks good, get off the bus, the Houston Texans got to be the only other team that you would be afraid of when you see. They are imposing and they are dominant on defense, and they look every bit the part of it.
This is another, I hate to brag, this is another one that we called exactly like we thought it would go.
Yeah.
We both commented on CJ Stroud being the singular point in determining how far this Houston team is going to go.
Yeah.
I knew. Yeah, he hasn't been right in years. I made some comments about it, and people have gotten upset with me. And they think it was personal because he put his hands on my quarterback. And I said, that I will be honest, that's a part of it. Don't you put your hands on 18 ever again. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, CJ. Don't you ever put your hands on Iceman. But all jokes aside, CJ is started against Pittsburgh. And this is and his inability. We've seen what I call nervous breakdown type situations in sports and meltdown.
Yes.
And he came out of that Pittsburgh game with low confidence. He turned the ball over 5 times against Pittsburgh, and they ended up, their defense is so great, they ended up winning that game walking away, so it didn't hurt.
That's right. Yeah.
And as a Houston Texans fan, and I've been there too, when you believe in your guy and you think, man, the win covers up. It's the ultimate deodorant.
Yeah.
However, you and I, we're objective, and we saw what New England did to Herbert and Harbaugh. And if anything I know about Harbaugh, his teams are ready to play. His teams are tough, and his teams are what I call very prepared. And when I saw what they did to New England, I said, oh my God, CJ.
To Los Angeles, yeah.
I'm sorry. When they stood to Los Angeles, I said, oh my God. I don't know if CJ is going to be able to hold up to that.
Yeah.
And from the opening kickoff, he looked like a deer in headlights. He looked terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. He made plays out there. I talked about I would have pulled an 8th grader out of the game.
Yeah.
To save my season,
I
would have pulled an 8th grader out because this team is too good to let one person, ruin the season.
I was going to ask you, would you have pulled them at halftime?
I would have pulled
for Davis Mills, who actually won 3 games this year.
I would have pulled them, and I wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been permanent. It was just to set the tone to let the team know, hey, this is unacceptable, guys. We still can win this game.
Yeah,
and I got to get his nerves settled because we don't have time to get him to a point to where he's ready to play because this team is too good. Right.
And all of that, and they were down by 1 score going into the 4th quarter. I think the score was 16-21. They were
exactly what it was
in the game.
It was 20 to 21. Sorry, it was 16-21.
Yeah.
And by the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. And that's because Houston defense was just lights out. They actually had multiple opportunities to pick up fumbles, to advance fumbles, and they couldn't get on them, or else they could have actually scored their own points. They literally were running and doing both the offensive and defensive side of the ball at the same time, as far as creating offensive plays by turnovers and getting the stops defensively, and they still had a chance given all of the mistakes that CJ Stroud made. And I understand you didn't have Nico Collins, and then you lost Schultz for a calf injury sometime at the beginning. So that's your security blanket. I understand that. That hurts. No doubt about that. That hurts. But literally, if Houston had just run 3 running plays and punted every single time, they might have been better off than having CJ Stroud throw pick sixes and get fumbles and give them the short field, because at least they could have punted and they might have forced a turnover. That's how good that defense is.
Agreed. And now we're back to awareness and understanding of who you are. CJ Stroud went in that game knowing how good that defense was. If anything, the pressure should be off of you.
That's right.
Right. And we've been on teams where and you and I, when an offense or a defense is that powerful, your sole job is to do what? Not impede on a victory. If I'm not going to help, I get the hell out of the way at least.
Right.
What CJ did was criminal in the sense he's throwing footballs in the middle of the field. He had 4 interceptions. He probably should have had 7.
My God, dude, every play it looked like it was a disaster, man. He was avoiding disaster just because of the weather or the tip ball didn't get caught. It was it was so many errant balls.
It was so egregious.
Could have been worse.
It was so egregious, and that's why I've watched games and I've watched players, and that's why for D'Amico, the defensive-minded head coach, that's where you look to your left and you look to your right, and you understand who your team is and what you embody. Yeah. And you sitting CJ down is okay, because in that moment you can reconcile that relationship. You can reconcile and have them start next week.
Because you can say, hey man, you didn't have your best pitch today, no worry. And if you find a way to win, I would bring CJ back and bring him back to the next game.
I would too.
You just gotta get to this game.
All I heard were whispers from Texans fans once they heard about the whole, Bo Nix going down. Man, if we get in, now you got CJ Stroud against Bo Nix, and he's a front runner.
Right.
And that's the part that I've always read. If things are going well and he can get out in front and not have pressure on him, he's the perfect quarterback. He makes great throws. He does what I call things at the position that only 50 or so guys can probably do at the position.
He can make some play. And guess what? You would have got Nico Collins back.
Correct.
Just think about it.
Probably, not only do you get Nico Collins back, but you also come in a situation where your defense is going to jump on those. They're going to jump on a Stidham and give you a couple of scores. That's right. The weather was so bad in New England, I think it inhibited them from being able to score.
That's right.
And that was the point where, from my perspective, a guy like CJ and what he did and D'Amico allowing that to happen, because this opportunity, again, now we're looking at next year, he could be the perfect quarterback. And you know who he's staring down? Burrow. Yeah. And Burrow just put his lights out just because of how talented he is. These opportunities don't come along every day.
They don't.
And that's why D'Amico's standing and letting that happen. I call it criminal. Yeah. Because to your point, at the end of the third, it's 21-16. The game it's not just in the balance, it's winnable.
Yeah.
You're strip sacking the hell out of May. You're getting turnovers in your own territory. Yeah. And you're not punching them in because CJ's playing terrible football. Yes. And as a play caller, it inhibited what you can do as a play caller, because now you can't trust your guy to go out there and make plays.
I think they call it coaching malpractice.
I agree. I love D'Amico Ryan. I love what he stands for. Like I said, what he built in Houston with that defense. Yeah. It made me sad because we've all walked in the locker rooms. Yeah. And I know they talk about, offenses in the NFL, offenses and defenses don't hang out like in high school or maybe in junior high ball, Optimus ball. It's a little different, right? Yeah. I know that unit looked up and was just like, what? WTF? Yeah. 10 turnovers. Yeah. 10 turnovers in 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
And we got you out the first jam when you gave us 5.
And you were down 1 score going into the fourth quarter of the second week. And all of that, man.
Talk about pulling that curtain on the plane. I know Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, they went and got on the plane, pull that curtain, man.
Stingley, Petrie. I mean, that defense is just, my gosh, man. It really was sad. I'm telling you, I would have brought in Davis Mills. I'd have went double tight end. I would have put in running back. I would have ran Marks and Chubbs, and we would have just kept running and kept trying to run it and getting play action and then dunk it off. And we would have just done that the rest of the game and live with whatever the results were, punt or not. But we would have done that the whole game.
And you know what? That style would have got you a kick up at the end to win it.
Yeah,
I firmly believe
and you probably would have broken the Patriots' defense at some point. They probably would have worn down, and you could have run it down at the end, man. That was disgusting, and that was a sad way to see a unit that was that strong ended up going in. And so now you push them into the offseason. Oh, by the way, they got to deal with Jacksonville Jaguars next year. They got to deal with Indy coming back. They got to deal with that conference, and so you just don't know in that division, what's it going to look like and so forth.
A living, breathing organism. I will say this: the silver lining to all of this is there's a lot of quarterbacks who can step in. I know we laugh, we kind of joke about Davis Mills or that style. Yeah, with that type of defense, you don't need much more than a game manager to have a true shot at a championship.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So that's the silver lining, Texans fans. The reality of the complexity of offense, and you can button things up. Yeah. And like I said, you don't want to wear them out, but you also got enough weapons coming back to where you can find a guy who I think can.
You get Tank Dell to be back. I mean, you have some draft picks and stuff.
But that's the other thing I wanted to say. CJ Stroud, everybody's talking about all his, I hear Texas fans talking about all the injuries. Hell, he's killing all his receivers. Tank Dell, Nico Collins laying on the turf with a head injury. Yeah. He tore Stover's knee up. Yep. Throwing a ball behind him.
That pass to Stover was terrible. Like, that guy he did everything he could to try to go back and catch the ball. With his foot was planted. That was such a terrible pass.
Right. This is the reality of the compounding effect of CJ Stroud with these injuries to his pass catchers and receivers. Yeah. He puts them in harm's way. He does. And he's also, what I call a reckless quarterback, with some of the windows that he's trying to force the ball into is inviting defenders to come in, and he's laying his receivers out to dry to the point where they can't survive a season. No. He had Diggs hurt. Yeah. Tank Dell hurt. Yeah. All of these guys, look at his style of play, and they're like, I don't know if I can work with that, man.
Right. And that, so he's got a lot of work to do. Meanwhile, Drake may look like an MVP at times. So he had a lot of heat on him, but he made a couple of dimes. I mean, that he dropped the ball in the bucket for Booty.
We talked about McDaniels, though, right? Remember what we said about McDaniels when it comes to what we thought he would bring to that game, and as aggressive and as powerful as that Houston defense was. Yeah, he used it against. He got a couple of shot plays in there that put him over the top. Yeah. Yep.
So that's what you have there. We definitely close that one out, and the New England Patriots continue. Now they go on the road to play aforementioned Denver Broncos without their quarterback, and we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about that shortly. But that takes us to the final game, and really the primetime game, Soldier Field, wintry mix. That same weather that was in the Northeast started to move its way throughout the Midwest, and it hit Chicago by then, and it was starting to be flurries at the beginning of the game, and it began, and it turned into more snow later on. You got the Rams coming from a warm weather climate, a future Hall of Fame quarterback, and Stafford. And in a lot of ways, we talked about this could be a passing of the torch to the young Caleb Williams and see if he's ready for it. And so in this game, the backdrop was the Bears and whether or not their defense was going to be able to hang in there, and the Rams and their ability to move the ball with Stafford, and whether or not they could keep pace and so forth. And so you saw that kind of start out that way. But the reality is Dennis Allen, to me, came with a beautiful game plan and because he wanted to take the condensed formations that the Rams run and send people off the edge, corners, safeties off the edge, because they had a short corner to get to Stafford and really disguise some blitzes and get after him, and it was working. And so impressive, very impressive here. But I want to know what you saw early on with this game.
Yeah.
The Bears had the ball and they were driving first and they had a chance to go in and get some points. And what do you think about that first drive there?
I was disappointed, not in the drive. I was disappointed in a lot of conversation was had around us having a fast start.
Yeah.
And this is the first thing I want to say about offensive football. And Ben Johnson is way more qualified than I'll ever be. So I'm prefacing this saying I'm a casual fan in the sense of what I'm about to say. Kind of, right? But I played the game.
That's right.
And when you have a young team and you got a lot of what I call emotion and you have that type of drive, there's no crime in taking 3 and getting some feel good in you, right?
That's right.
Coming back to the sideline, you looked everybody in the eye. Hey, good job, guys. That's the way we move that football.
That's right.
As opposed to throwing an interception on a 4th down that ends the drive. And
that's right.
We'll talk about Ben Johnson here and just the job that I thought he did. The fact of the matter is what I saw early was a super confident offense that was moving the ball. And to your point, I saw a defense that surprisingly, after that first drive, they went right down the field on us and scored. And after that, I think Dennis Allen looked at his play call sheet and he said, you know what? I gotta, go down swinging in my style. We always talked about what is Dennis Allen's style? Blitzing, man-to-man in your face, a lot of exotic concepts, but mostly man principles based off of bringing that pressure.
Yeah.
And to your point, it worked. Ben Johnson went in with the notion that I'm going to have to outscore these guys.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case.
Nope.
It wasn't a shootout.
Nope.
And when you make an assumption before the game even starts, and that's why I say taking 3, I'm not against going forward on 4th down. I'm not against the aggression. But I'm saying to start a game, take your points. And this was a game where points were at a premium.
That's right.
And
17.
And we left, an easy opportunity in what I call poor conditions, that all the talk of bear weather, I couldn't tell that we practiced, played, or did anything in it because we looked very uncomfortable as an offense. After that first drive, we dropped 9 balls to my calculation, where Colston Loveland probably had 3 or 4 drops by itself. Rome Odunze drops the touchdown on the first drive.
Yeah, went right through his hands.
Went right through his hands. A body catch at that. We'll talk about Rome here in a minute.
Yeah.
We had DJ Moore, multiple drops.
Yeah.
And I'll say, from my perspective, early on in this game, the youth and the nerve showed up in my team. And this was the first time I looked at the offense and the defense, and I was like, man, this is just them being young, right?
Yeah.
And this is where the experience is kicking in. Unfortunately, sometimes you need the on job training. You need time on task to kind of understand, these moments. And this was our time on task in a big game and how to navigate and deal with it. And we just didn't handle that well after that first drive, because it put us in a situation offensively where we never got back on track. And we were already had a precedence of starting slow. We didn't lose confidence because we know we can come back and win games.
Yeah.
However, what you don't, what you repeat, and what you don't repair ends up coming to bite you, right?
Yeah.
And this is a situation where, from the whole Iceman and the Caleb Williams and putting it all on his shoulders, this was a game where other players have to step up, right? And we talked about it with Peyton Manning, where everybody, he's going to bail us out. He's going to do it. And eventually you stop doing your damn job, right? And so that's what I saw initially. It was being super aggressive and us not being at the level of what I call a great executional level to where we probably left at least 9 points, on the table because we couldn't execute. And that's unacceptable in that type of game.
Here's the statistics. I think the stat of the game. Well, a couple of ones. One for the Rams, one for the Bears. But the one for the Bears is the Chicago Bears went 1 for 4 in scoring position on 4th down. The one time that you did go for it, you got 7.
Right.
The other 3 times, you turned it over on downs. And what that means is all of those times you had an opportunity to get 3 points. Okay.
Yeah.
So in essence, if you had stayed on principle, instead of getting the 7, you got 3 because you went for it and you decided to not go for it and just kick the field goal. That means 4 times 3, you get 12 points.
Right.
Or if you don't go for it, okay, and you kick the field goal, then you get the points. But if you do go for it, you saw what happened in those situations. Or even if you mix it up, maybe you get the touchdown one time or you get 3 the other time, okay, and you end up with 10 points or something like that, or 13 points. But the bottom line is, every way you look at it, a minimum of 5 points was left, and you could have used those 5 points at the end of the game. Instead of having to score a touchdown to win or score a touchdown to tie, you would have already been in position to kick a field goal and go win the game. And it just is what it is. The points are at a premium. Every time, to me, in the playoffs, you're able to drive the length of the field and get in field goal range, you take the points that you get because the other team gets paid to stop you. This is not... I don't have anything against going for it on 4th down based on the momentum.
Yeah.
But the reality is the other team is in the playoffs for a reason. And if they have an opportunity to take a drive in which they've been getting their ass handed to them the entire time and make one play and get off the field, you better believe they'll do everything they in their power to do so. And
that's
let
exactly
them off the hook when you do that.
No, you're exactly right. And what you just said is what the Rams did. We outplayed them on offense. We outplayed them on defense. But every time they had a chance to take points or score the ball, they did just that. And they end up walking away with a victory. And that's how you steal victories when you don't deserve them. Right. And in this situation, what I was trying to say is you repeat what you don't repair. Right. And the reality is, that aggressive style works when you execute at a high level. When we were at the Naval Academy, there were certain plays that I can call right now. If I call 12 low right now, you know exactly what the hell you're supposed to do against any front. You know exactly what your you know exactly what your alignment is, no matter the down and distance. So I'm saying for Ben Johnson, if you had plays that you guys say, you know what? We don't care what the hell you do on defense. We just gonna execute. What we don't do is come up with all these random hodgepodge plays that you throwing something you're trying to throw something against the wall and hoping it's gonna stick. And you coming up snake eyes, man. No, trust your gut, call your best play, and if you really believe in it, go. But I saw a few things on the Rams side, the Los Angeles side. They got some ass kickers up front. So there were moments where we did call our best play, and they just stopped it. And I took my hat and I said, you know what? That's what happens in playoff football, Ben.
That's right.
So you better wake up.
That's why they're there too.
That's why they're there too. So the same, like you said, we talk about the McDonald's and we talk about the McVays, and they're pretty damn good too. Tendencies, cues, risks, and as great as you think you can execute a play, sometimes you got to understand that, again, this is bigger than you, Ben. Take your points and let's keep this thing moving and give my team the best chance to win. I think in Ben's mind, and I'm gonna throw this at you, and then I'll be quiet and let you speak. I think in his mind, Ben felt the only way we would win this game is if our offense did it. I said it. He said it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, I'll own it. I'll be accountable. These are the guys that's going to win the game. And unfortunately, those were the guys that lost it for us. Right? They didn't have their best day. Whether it be through poor execution, poor play calls. The defense did their damn job. They did it well. And this was a game, too, where unfortunately the ball didn't bounce our way. We had a insta shed with Robinson where he comes through and sacks. It's the fastest sack in NFL history.
Unreal.
Hits him. He never saw it. Wrapped him up from behind. The ball literally bounced right back in his belly.
I never even saw the ball move from anywhere but hit the ground and come right back to him. It was like he never fumbled. Like that's how that ball bounced directly. And this, the thing about football is it's oblong. It does not bounce straight up like a basketball. Correct. The only way it bounces straight up is if you hit it directly in the middle of the ball, and it hits the middle of the ball, and which very, very, very rarely does that happen when it hits the ground. So the fact that ball came right back to him with no movement is a miracle.
It's a miracle. Kevin Byard dropped an interception. We had balls that popped up, and we were a step late to getting to them. We went through the playoffs and didn't get one turnover. We led the league in turnovers. For all those people who told me it wasn't sustainable, you were right. And I can't say any other thing than, hey, we never got a turnover. But it didn't stop us from being able to win football games either. So my reality in that instance is, when you start to advance and get further along in the playoffs, my thought process is this with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. You guys, are flying so close to the sun. We saw it happen in Detroit in that San Francisco game. What is it, 3 years, where they had a complete command of the NFC Championship game. And instead of going up 17 points, they decide, we're going to roll the dice and, go for it. And they end up losing an NFC Championship game, playing that same style where I don't want 3, I want to bury you. And sometimes burying you, I don't have to bury you and dump a dump truck of dirt on you. I can do it with a shovel.
Yeah.
Because you look up the same way Denver, they score, and then they do what? Get a quick fumble. And now that 10 point in 60 seconds, you look up and you're like, damn, man.
Yeah.
We might have just lost this game. That's how quickly it happens. And I think that's the thing where, Ben is so aggressive and Caleb has an aggressive mindset, and it can be your demise too. And I think in this case, it ended up hurting us because we played ourselves into a tight game that I felt shouldn't have been that tight.
Well, and I'm going to give you a couple of stats here just to piggyback off of what you said. Number one, the Rams, 0 turnovers, 0 drops.
Yeah.
They had no drops. And
does that include the defense? Because them DBs called everything too. Boy, I tell you.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm going to get to my wide receiver room. But
so you got a cold weather team that has no turnovers and no drops in that weather. That tells you how close this game was with all of that margin for error. And they had 0 margin for error, and they still could have lost this game given how well they played. And that tells you that for Chicago, you didn't have to play a perfect game once again. You could have turned it over once, or you could have had some drops, and you still could have won this game. You don't have to be perfect. I remember my coach said many times, guys, we don't have to play perfect to win this game. We do have to play well. Right. And just remember that. The other stat I have for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You just talked about Detroit. I love the cockroaches. Detroit.
Right.
This year, the 2 teams that had the largest margin of victory was number 1, Seattle, and number 2, the Rams. And they are in the NFC Championship game. You know who number 3 was? Detroit. Wow. So, but what did we just talk about? You don't have to bury a team just because you win the game. And that's what Detroit is. That's why I said they were bullies. When they win games, they try to annihilate you and eviscerate you. But then you turn around and lose a game that you need to win, like a game against Philadelphia, because you continue to go for it and take chances, and you can't even win that game when all you had to do was play to your strength and you win. That's bad, inconsistent football. Not taking what the defense gives you, not taking what the opportunities are, but being so knuckleheaded that you're going to try to take chances and you're going to lose a game that you can win.
And I think I just coined a new phrase, knucklehead analytics. We need some knucklehead analytics to show how many, boneheaded, knuckleheaded decisions have lost good teams' football games when they take that mindset. Now, I'm being tough on Ben because also that style got us here. So, I'm not completely burying Ben and what he did from a decision standpoint. I think we're just so young. We don't have we're just not talented enough and disciplined enough. And I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. You repeat, what you don't repair. DJ Moore, DJ Less, and I'm going to be respectful. DJ Moore, since last season, when he walked off the field against the Arizona Cardinals, he's jogged and loafed and done things to where, I question his competitiveness. He's a great man. He's our, Walter Payton man of the year.
Payton man. This isn't about his character. No.
And when we got the overtime and we got that first down with Caleb, doing a QB sneak, and Caleb got up, man, and that smoke coming out his face and he walking them down. And I'm like, here we come. And this is the thing about a young quarterback who's taking the next steps and who's actually learning and growing. And this is for Bear Nation. I'm going to give you a silver lining of hope. That throw that he made, everybody talks about how you didn't need that throw. It was too aggressive. That was the same throw that he made to Duvernay against the San Francisco 49ers late in that game, because Duvernay was hustling and he was running and he ran across the safety's face. And it was a big completion. It was also off the same concept where Luther Burden called a touchdown against the 49ers because the safety peaked and Caleb went over the top of his head. That concept called for someone else to get the ball, and DJ Moore loafed it. Caleb Williams threw with anticipation because he expected and trusted his number one receiver to be there. And I'm being hard on DJ because we might not be in that situation, because in week 18 against the Detroit Lions, DJ ran a deep over route and Caleb trusted him again. And DJ gave up on a route and gave up another interception. And I'm a former wide receiver, and that's the ultimate sin. Lack of effort and not protecting your quarterback.
That's right.
As your number one receiver, if you throw any pass to me, my job is to catch it or make sure nobody else catches it.
That's right.
That's how you build trust, and I fight for it. And all year, the energy has been off, and this is where I'm going to get on my wide receiver room. There is no excuse for a Ben Johnson-led offense to have the receptions leader be a tight end. I don't care how talented Colston Loveland is. That tells me everything I need to know about who Caleb Williams trusts, because Colston Loveland didn't come on until later in the season. He's a rookie.
Rookie.
DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, a 9th round pick in the biggest game of our lives. I can't trust my wide receivers to run out routes, and I can't trust you to catch a ball. And Ben Johnson held his press conference today, and he said, and I would be embarrassed, Randall L., if this was my unit, we are going to work on learning how to catch the football all offseason. What we did was unacceptable. And if I'm a receiver, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. And DJ Moore left the locker room, hasn't said a word. Now, this is what we talk about: leadership, accountability. and they're talking about he had a concussion, a potential concussion. When we beat the Packers and he caught those passes, I couldn't get him away from a camera. Had a big cheese grater on his head, just like me. I got the cheese grater somewhere downstairs too. So I understand you helped us get here, but you also helped us lose. Yeah. And when I pay my number one receiver, and when you count against 8.9%, and I know this for a fact, 8.9% of my cap.
Wow.
I need you to not be the reason why we lose a game. On jogging. Yeah. On dogging it. On loafing it. That's not my route.
In the playoffs, in overtime.
You go tackle somebody. You go tackle him.
Yeah.
You go do whatever you got to do. And this is the piece where, for me, I want to take a few days just to think about it. And you and I both have been, very, very adamant about you just don't get rid of talent to get rid of talent in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But sometimes on the journey, everybody can't go. And Ben realized DJ is a guy, he absolutely raves about Amon-Ra St. Brown, his work ethic, his heart, his competitiveness. And DJ likes football. He doesn't live, breathe, eat football. Colston Loveland lives, eats, breathes football. He said Colston is the first one in here in the locker room. Man, he's hanging around. He got in that playbook. And you saw it with Ben Johnson rewarding him with more and more and more targets as the season went on. That's how you get a rookie tight end eclipsing a veteran number one receiver and a ninth round pick. Rome Odunze, and I know you hey, Spence, he got hurt. I get it. He's been dropping balls all year. I watched Malik.
You mean a number 9 pick? Is that what you mean?
He's the number 9th overall pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay,
that's exactly what I mean. Yeah. First round, you're the number 9. We shouldn't be having this discussion about your damn motor. And as a receiver, I should not have a discussion around you consistently dropping the ball. He had his Ben Johnson and Antoine Randall L did the end of year. What do they call them? The end of year meeting. Yeah. Rome Odunze, I will give him this. He came to the podium and he came to at his locker, and it looked like, and I've gotten end of year reviews. I'm sure you've gotten an end of year review, and you hear some feedback and you like, wow, that makes you look in the mirror. He literally, the press like, hey, what's wrong? Like they had to ask him like, hey, are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm not okay. I'm just not happy with how I played this year. And I can live with that. I'm okay with that. But there's an understanding that comes when you get in the Ben Johnson offense and you're the 9th overall pick, and somehow you're not flourishing in this offense and you're dropping footballs. He dropped 4 passes in an NFC divisional playoff game. I know your foot might hurt. Your hands don't hurt. Catch the ball. That touchdown that you dropped, it was a body catch that went through your whole body. Your hands not.
Yeah, he didn't even look like a receiver on that play.
He looked like somebody who was shocked that the ball was coming to him. And that's the thing. When you have Caleb Williams and you have an elite quarterback, you're in play every route. That's your mindset.
Yeah.
You can't go in there, this play not drawn up for me. Man, this ain't down, a walk out in the park on Saturday. I'm trying to get open, feed me the ball. And Malik Neighbors would not have dropped that football.
Yeah.
A guy like Jettas, he ain't dropping that football. That's the football they want. And I think that's why Rome was at his, post end of season interview. Yeah. He's like, the Bears came to me numerous times and I did not make plays. I did not do what I'm supposed to do. DJ Moore, he's a guy who everybody can't go. He has a very, what I call friendly contract. Buffalo needs a receiver. Tennessee needs a receiver. You can't repair what you don't fix. And he's been doing this for a while now. He needs to go. I don't need a number 1 receiver who's not giving me the effort and who's not he's setting a tone for the wide receiver room because he's the leader. And that's the results that we're getting, to where our coach is standing at the podium at the end of the year saying, we got to learn how to catch the football. That's embarrassing.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you go for 2 if you're in that position, given the fact that you're 1 for 4 on 4th down, on these specialty plays like that, or do you kick that extra point and go into overtime?
You know what? I think you go for overtime just to, elongate the game, and you're at home.
Yeah.
I thought that was the right decision. Had we lost a game going for 2 in that situation, I would have been terribly disturbed had we not gotten it. It's one of those It's one of those calls where it's reckless if you don't get it, right?
Yeah.
Because you basically eliminated an opportunity for your team to win the football game after they played so well on the defensive side of the football, right? Yeah. So I don't think I go for 2 just because they weren't executing at a high level.
Yeah.
We had to move Tooney out to left tackle, and we brought in McFadden at left guard.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched the film, and this is where the Rams front 7 that you spoke about, they kicked our butt up front in the run game, and they manhandled Drew Dalman, our center, to a point where we couldn't control the line of scrimmage at the point of attack.
Yeah.
And I just, even the miracle, throw. We talk about 1 guy, 2 guys maybe who can make that throw on earth.
That's right.
The pocket collapses. He comes and drops back, retreats 20 yards and throws a 54-yard pass in the air in the back of the end zone. Nicole Komet, and a superstar is officially born, right?
Yeah.
At that point, it's not magic. It's not black magic. People have to understand Caleb Williams took a lot of responsibility in doing the things that Ben Johnson wanted him to do as far as preparation, coaching. And that's why I'm so hard on Rome. There's no way you had that talent and get great coaching and it not come out at some point.
Yeah.
So that means you're not doing the little things. Caleb's footwork, Caleb's ability to understand the offense. He fixed the pre-snap penalties. He didn't get sacked a ton, and he made plays and took care of the football at a very high clip this year, and it gave us a chance to win every game. So, the accuracy, I think, improves once he gets a chance to get away from the game a little bit, get back to the fundamentals and understanding the offense. I think his accuracy will improve. But that's, to me, the reality is, and this is where I was going with that rant around my wide receiver room. I think we're going to see a big change. I'm not saying we're getting rid of Rome Odunze. I think we'll be listening because he was floated in a Max Cosby trade potentially, and I don't think that's the route to go. I wouldn't do it. I would go another route. But I think the reality is, for me, Caleb Williams just needs guys to be where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
and he'll do the rest. Right, He'll get you the football.
Yeah,
I don't think we might not need, $30 and $28 million receivers.
Yeah,
on this team. Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, those guys are gonna flourish and eventually they'll get a hefty payday. The ancillary pieces that you're building around might be guys that make $5 to $7 million a year, right? Who can get to their spots, who are hustling, who are doing what they need to do, who are blocking hard.
Yeah.
More back to what we said, which is more of a system approach.
Yeah.
As a playmaker approach. So if I was Rome Odunze and if I was DJ Moore, I'd be very uneasy around my future with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Because Ben Johnson, he won't repeat what he won't repair. He's going to repair it. He's like looking at it. And for him to single that point out, Antoine Randall L. He's interviewing up in Pittsburgh and a few other places.
Yeah.
That's his main guy. And for him to say that, that's embarrassing. And I know Ben took ownership of it. They asked him about it. They asked him where was DJ Moore and what happened on that play. And he said, hey, the communication issue is on me because I'm the head coach. But when you look at that concept and you look at how I watched 5 other games where we ran that concept,
it didn't have that same result.
And DJ ran flat. Yeah, and DJ or whoever ran that over route, it was to get across that safety's face.
That's right.
And that's your job. And, from that perspective, tough way to end the game. We were, real quick, Do you think Caleb got a little too aggressive there? I heard that people were saying you're only 10, 15 yards. Well, I say you're probably about another 15 to 20 yards away from what I call
you got to get in there. Yeah.
How did you feel about the decision to take a shot when they were on the 48-yard line? How did you feel about that decision?
I mean, it's tough because you call a play with a concept and you think if you run the play correct that you have a chance. Right. It's hard to think that if you run the play that the interception is going to be, it's going to be in the thing and in the fold. And the other thing about it is, even when you did, where were the Rams by the time they got the ball on the 20-yard line?
22. Yeah.
22. So they caught it on 22. And my man Curl had an excellent game. What a safety play.
Amazing.
He was excellent, man. And so it's tough because within a situation, I think you don't have anything running the play. I think you trust Caleb enough to know that he won't put the ball in harm's way, and he didn't think he was putting the ball in harm's way.
Right.
But sometimes the coach, you have to say, okay, let me protect the quarterback or the offense from themselves and just keep it basic and keep it going until we can kind of move our way and methodically get our way in the field goal range and so forth. That's a tough decision right there because you get too conservative and you end up, okay, we're moving the ball well. All of a sudden the Rams make one tackle behind the line of scrimmage and you punting the ball away.
Agreed.
So it is very difficult in that situation. I can't blame them on that. When it comes down to it. So no, I feel it's just.
Well, that's also, and I'll say this. Sorry, that's also where you trust your players too, right?
Yeah.
And as a play caller, as a quarterback, as a receiver, there's a synergy amongst all components. I want a coach who's calling plays that he thinks is going to help us win this game.
Yeah.
My job as a player is to execute it, and if things go left.
Yeah,
I make a sound decision to, give us another shot at it.
That's it.
So, I heard the noise around, people saying Caleb bit off a little bit more than he can chew. He was feeling himself and threw a ball out there lackadaisical. It's tough because, again, the same thing that got us there is the same thing that ended up, biting us in the butt, which is slow starts, poor execution on offense. Yeah. And the reality is the drop passes plagued us all year, unfortunately, and it came back to bite us. And in an NFL playoff, any weakness that you have, is going to get exposed. And if you don't have a way to mask it or cover it up, and the way you mask it and cover it up is what Sean McVay did. His team didn't have a great day execution wise.
No, they didn't run the ball enough. I don't think they ran the ball enough.
Didn't run it enough. And he also said, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not going to hurt us anymore because he said it. He said, he's like, Coach Dennis Allen kicked my ass today. I'm taking every point that's available to me. I'm giving my team the best chance to win.
Yep.
And I think for Ben Johnson, this is a lesson learned in us moving forward to where we're going to blow a lot of teams out and we're going to beat a lot of teams where we don't get these close endings. However, there will be some games similar to this one, maybe 2 or 3 throughout the year, where taking points and putting some confidence in your team when it doesn't. You don't have to, raise the temperature in the room if you don't need to. Sometimes it's okay to come in and make sure the team gets off to a positive start and get some feel good in them. And I think that's one takeaway for Ben that he's going to learn and walk away with from this season.
And that takes us full circle here on the recap with the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Who probably, if you looked at the course of the year, they probably were on this trajectory as far as
they were
one of the top teams. I think the Bears really closed the gap and climbed the ladder. And really, they look like the third best team, in the NFC right now. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are probably kicking their own butt because they saw what San Francisco looked like. And San Francisco basically punched above their weight and took them out. And then they went to Seattle, laid down. And I think the Eagles are saying, man, we could have done that. So I think they're probably the big losers, which I love, in the playoffs.
You're not sad about that at all, are you?
Chicago is a team that played, at or above where they were expected to do so this year. So I mean, it was a great season there. So we wrap up the divisional round, and really just want to hit a couple of more items here before we close this out. This is moving into the off season, and so we'll be doing a lot more of this with news and notes. I think the big thing in the NFL is there are 10 coaches that have been let go and 10 openings. That's a big number. A third of the coaches have been fired, along with coordinator positions and so forth. So there's a lot of news and notes going on. The fallout from these games, as we continue to have teams start to get eliminated and get sent home, and the coaches start to get plucked around. Man, it's like the great scavenger hunt when they start looking for coaches and stuff, man. It's just rummaging through lineups to find the right coaches. So while we wrap this up, I want to talk about a couple of these news and notes items here. We'll start with Dallas because we covered the Cowboys. They're in a hunt for a defensive coordinator, and their top candidates seem to be Jonathan Gannon, Jim Leonard,
Christian Parker, and Durante Jones.
And I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Durante Jones. I was trying to get the name pronounced correctly. All in their own rights, very competitive. I think Jim Leonard is not available for an in-person interview because he is still with Denver. They're still alive. So either if they get eliminated or if they advance during this off week, he can interview. So the Cowboys will find out where Jim Leonard stands. But obviously, he is a disciple of Vance Joseph. You have Mr. Jonathan Gannon, who took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. They had a very excellent defense, and then Arizona had some pieces missing, but they were still very competitive on defense, even though the team was bad. And so Jonathan Gannon is one of those guys. I think around the league, people know he's a smart guy. He's a good schematics guy, and so forth. So I think he's a good candidate. Durante Jones is a guy who's a grinder. He's in his early mid-40s. So these are young coaches, and he's got that disciple of coming from the Minnesota Vikings and the Brian Flores tree. And then Parker is a disciple of. He's at Philly right now, so he's under the tutelage of
Vic Fangio,
the Vic Fangio, and so he's under the Vic Fangio umbrella. And so these are all coaches that come in. So we'll see. I think I would say Jim Leonard is the guy I like because he seems to be a coach. He seems to be a teacher, a guy who can be multiple and he can have different schemes. All of these guys are secondary, so you can tell the Cowboys want a coach who can really clean up their secondary as well. And so Jim Leonard seems like a guy, but I do like Jonathan Gannon. People, for some reason, say, I don't know about Gannon and so forth. And I think because he was a former coach, because it was just a coach. And they don't want a coach who got fired. But he's an excellent defensive coordinator. So I like him.
Yeah. And I was you kind of answer my question. So I want to ask that. It sounds like Jim Leonard is your kind of your lead horse there in this four-man race.
Yeah, I just like the way he had Wisconsin's defense very, very strong. He's been a defensive coordinator before in college, and 10 years in the NFL, and he was not a high draft pick. He was kind of like late round pick who basically his claim to fame as a safety and so forth was his technique and his skill set and his film study, his understanding of the other team. It wasn't, hey man, I just run a 4-4 and I got long arms and I can just basically cover you and do whatever I need to do. He was a guy who basically used his experience and his knowledge. And I think those are guys who can teach and who can coach. And I think that's what I like about him.
No, I agree. I went and actually did some homework after you raved about McDonald in Seattle. And I promise you I'll land this plane. But I was just kind of interested. I was like, man, if he's the Sean McVay, kind of the new, the trendy defensive coordinator, how did he get where he's gotten? And I had they did a great video of a breakdown of his scheme is too high, and I got ass kickers. right? He's not exotic. He's not a Brian Flores. He's up there. You know, Brian Flores is sending a lot of double mug looks and exotic pressures and heat. Sim pressures. McDonald is in the camp of, you know, the Jimmys and the Joes and people executing in their roles, and then not sacrificing big plays, right? He also got some very, what I call hybrid style. He has a safety that can act as a linebacker. And the kid from South Carolina, I forget his name, Omenyori or something like that. But he's a freak of an athlete. He's 6'3". He's a kid who was 6'3" and then ran like a 4.3 40. And he drops him down in the box and he plays nickel. So long story short, I think with Jonathan Gannon, he's very similar to a Dennis Allen to me. Dennis Allen wasn't a great head coach, or he wasn't a head coach. He was a failed head coach at this point where it just didn't work out, right? In two places. Some guys just make better coordinators. I think Jonathan Gannon is that kind of guy. I think Broncos Jim Leonard is that same kind of ilk. He's a guy who's going, no matter what you give him, they'll find a way to put a competent defense on the field.
That's right.
Christian Parker, I don't know much about, I'll be honest. And then Durante Jones, you know, I think he would obviously bring that Brian Flores style aggression to the Cowboys. That styles make fights, and with that type of defense, with the power of your number one offense or a top 3 offense in NFL, that could marry up well too. Yeah. So I said all that to say, looking at your roster, I personally feel either the Jonathan Gannon or the Jim Leonard approach works, because right now you don't have all the answers in all the different positions as to, you know, what your defense is going to look like. McDonald, his first year in Seattle, his defense was ranked in the bottom half of the league, right? And they were saying it wasn't because he was a bad coach. He just had to get his guys. And once he got his guys, he was good. Dennis Allen, a little bit more, what I call player driven. I give me all my defensive ends need to be 6'5", 270 above, right? They come with a system. They come with that scheme. And they come with the measurables that you're looking for the defense. And I think Jim Leonard would bring that. When you look at the Broncos defense, they are so buttoned up, man. They got a huge front. They got the right style. And it might not happen overnight in Dallas, i.e. 1 year, but I guarantee in 2, you guys will have a top 10 unit.
And the thing is, the defense was so bad last year. If they can go from 31, 32 up to 16, with that offense, all of a sudden you're a tough team to beat. Just to create a few turnovers, get a few stops, and all of a sudden you become very confident in that aspect. And so it's just you're just trying to make, you know, what is it, chicken salad out of chicken or something, whatever you want to call it, lemonade out of lemons type situation. If you can do that for a year, then that obviously will help. So that's where Dallas is. We'll see how that plays out. I think once again after Denver, you know, does what they're going to do in the playoffs. We'll see what happens there. Some of these other notables here, we have the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers now going to Miami. We talked about Harbaugh going to the New York Giants. We talked about
Stefanski to Atlanta, and your boy Baker told him, "Bring it on, bring your ass, man."
Yeah.
I love it.
So the backstory there is the rumor is that Stefanski sent Baker packing when he was in Cleveland, and he didn't even give Baker a courtesy phone call or anything to let him know. And it basically he said, man, he shipped me out there like I was trash. You know what I'm saying? And Baker said, I'll never forget that. You know, welcome to the NFC South. I'll see you soon. And so I love this, man. One thing I think about Baker is he's a chip on the shoulder type of guy, and he don't let him. He don't forget about him either. So, you know, you call him what you want, but he has that edge about him, and so that automatically creates some incredible little storylines for the NFC South.
Stefanski got a lot of snake in him. You know, that whole, I don't like the way that stuff went down with Shador, and I didn't like the way that stuff kind of materialized out in Cleveland.
Gabriel, that whole
Dylan Gabriel, and
just a little shy.
Yeah, so it's not surprising that Baker Mayfield he did not hesitate to call him out. So it's gonna be fun with those two guys in the same division.
Yeah, today we found out.
I got one question, man.
Yeah,
I'm still searching. Who is gonna call Brian Flores and give him a head coaching job? I need him out of the NFC North. I'm about to get on the plane to go to Pittsburgh myself and meet with the Roonies.
I thought he got extended with Minnesota.
Brian Flores called us. I got a deck. I got a PowerPoint I made after work today to sell you. Call us up. Pittsburgh. Who else? Ravens, Raiders.
Yeah.
I go to Vegas. On my own dime, I will fly to these locations to get Brian Flores out of the NFC North. I will represent you. I have plenty of video footage of the double mug, the exotic looks, the cover 2 shell to the cover 3, the cover 3 shell to the cover 0. Oh my God. I think he still has an open case pending against the NFL, if I remember correctly, or there might be some bad blood there. I know this time in Miami.
Jerry Jones will talk to Brian Flores. I don't think he's coming. I think that the concern in Dallas is that Brian Flores won't stay. They think that if he comes to Dallas, he's just going to bounce and go become a coach somewhere else. So I think that's the concern.
I guess if you tell a quarterback that I don't know what you're doing here and you don't deserve to be here, i.e. Tua, you're a bad guy. He wasn't wrong. Maybe there's some edges that needed to be smoothed out. He did some time in Pittsburgh. He did some time, and shout out to Mike Tomlin. A lot of people threw some smut and some dirt on his name that I didn't like. Saying that he wasn't a Hall of Fame coach, saying that he didn't have a coaching tree. I'll say this: Mike Tomlin is one of the best to ever do it. He had 19 years where he didn't miss the playoffs. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, his body of work speaks for itself, and we need to stop putting smut on his name. When he did it his way, he did it the right way, in the sense of he didn't have a bunch of scandals going on in Pittsburgh, and for all intents and purposes, for us to, we got to stop doing that. And I hate when former athletes get the mics and they say things like that about someone who's put in that type of. Mike Tomlin has given a lot to the game. And I said that to say, when everybody else wouldn't touch Brian Flores, Mike Tomlin did. And it wasn't fashionable. He didn't have to do it. Nope. And that's the measure of a man when, he stand tall for you, when everybody else shooting arrows and he put up a damn umbrella over you. I got a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin and what he did to help rebuild and try to reshape Brian Flores's image as a coach, right? And I think he would do a phenomenal job in Pittsburgh. I think he fits who Pittsburgh, what they want to be and who they are. But I also talked to you offline about it. I think they want to move away from that direction, right?
Yeah, I think
the Cowers, the Tomlins.
Yeah,
I think they just want an offensive mind. Ravens might be in the same boat. They want to get away from the tough guy CEO kind of style, and they might want an offensive mind. But hell, it wouldn't surprise me if Mike McDermott and Flores end up with jobs at some point.
Yeah,
maybe not this cycle, next cycle, where they turn a couple of franchises around very quickly. The only hard part about them is they have to find an offensive coordinator who sticks around long enough for them to actually get a championship, because most of the time they lose them, and that ends up being their demise, right?
And that's the tough part about when you have a defensive coach. Every time you hire an offensive coordinator, if he does well, then he goes, and then you got to start over. That's what Philadelphia continues to do when they have a CEO level head coach. Your offensive coordinator leaves or either gets fired. So he's either terrible or great, but he's never sustaining. And so you're always turning over. Your quarterback has to learn new systems. So we'll see. Right now, you got the two perennial MVPs in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson available and on teams. That's almost unheard of, that teams with those types of level of quarterbacks, all world level quarterbacks available. So Somebody's going to be fighting really hard to get those spots and feel like they can coach those teams up and get them over the hump. It's going to be very exciting.
And speaking of Lamar, you said you heard a whisper of one of our old buddies who HMA Sports Academy. We got rid of
Cliff driving you off the Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, they try to do Lamar in, man. Don't do it, Baltimore.
Cliff Kingsbury is like, look, if I can keep this going and I can fool another team for about 3 more years, it don't matter what happens. I done made myself about $50 million and I'm good. I can go back to college. He continues to get these jobs, and I'm telling you, everyone's like, oh, they think Lamar Jackson would love to be under. Listen, if you're Lamar Jackson and you look at what Jaden Daniels' body is starting to look like as a quarterback in that system, look at Kyler Murray as a quarterback in that system and what his body was starting to become. He had an ACL injury. And you, at your age, with the amount of damage you've had or the amount of injuries you've had, want to start in the offense that depends on you being a runner, you're missing the boat on what's going on. You cannot see the forest for the trees. You cannot. I can't believe that people are not understanding what that offense is built for. It's a college-based offense, and that's perfectly fine when your quarterback leaves every 2 or 3 years. Perfectly fine.
Lamar Jackson should be on the phone with the mayor of Baltimore trying to get National Guard members outside that building in Owings Mills, Maryland, to make sure Cliff Kingsbury gets nowhere near the facility. There should be armed National Guard with weapons pointed at his vehicle to make sure he doesn't get anywhere near that facility. Because you're exactly right. He is the last person Lamar Jackson
in that type of offense.
Right.
I just don't understand, man. It's like you see it, and this is why these teams continue to put themselves in these types of positions. It's like, dude, you cannot understand or see what his type of offense. It's not built for a quarterback in the NFL to be sustaining.
Longevity. Nope.
And Lamar Jackson is not who he was. You can tell me whatever he is. He's way more athletic than I'll ever be. He's fast. I get it. He's quick as a hiccup. He is not what he used to be.
And that's not an insult. It's the reality of Father Time and taking hits in the NFL.
No, but what's happening is there's a sliding scale, and as your athleticism wanes, your ability to be an in the pocket quarterback and to read the defense and to get the ball out and to be able to stay in the pocket needs to increase. And it's not. You see his athleticism going down and his level of a pocket quarterback staying about where it is. It's not that he's a bad pocket quarterback. He has a good arm, but a lot of his reads are the reason why he's able to complete passes and do so is off of the way the defense has to adjust to him being a runner. That needs to stop. Do
you think he can learn? That's what I was going to say. He's a 2-time MVP. He's also went over 4,000 yards passing numerous times. Do you think he can develop into more of a pocket style passer and learn a system like a Andy Reid West Coast offense? Can he learn a Shanahan West Coast offense? Can he learn a power run game offense? Do you think he's capable of making that adjustment at this point in his career?
I think the only type of offense that he could be in, that he could learn, that he could flourish in, that's not a running type of offense, is a power play action type offense. Hand it off to the back, hand it off to the running back, go physical up front, put it in his belly, and then step up and then hit guys down the field. He throws a good deep ball.
Yes.
He can hit crosses when it's open, but he needs cleaner looks. I've never seen Lamar Jackson be a guy who just drop back and just survey the defense and just read it. He gets antsy in the pocket when things start to close in around him. He doesn't settle in. He doesn't have the best of footwork. And I'm sorry, at this stage of his career, I don't see that becoming much, much better. Not to the point where he just can be a statue back there and just stand in the pocket. I'm sorry, that's not his game.
Yeah, I feel like, and I'm also protective of Lamar. He's a Florida boy, Pompano boy. And some of it, I feel like he snake bit a little bit. This last loss in the playoffs, he threw two big touchdowns to put them up, and Luke, the field goal kicker, ended up missing a big kick in the end. But to your point, I can't argue the physical decline. I definitely see that start to happen, and like I said, I think that's natural. I think
and the injuries.
He's in year 7 or so, right, of his career. He's starting to get to that point where your physical starts to, especially when you are that elite, right? When you look at the Mike Vicks, the Cam Newtons, the John Elways, the Steve Youngs, there gets to a point, and you said it best. I know a lot of old quarterbacks. I know a lot of running quarterbacks. I know a lot of old running quarterbacks out here.
That's right.
It's like a damn, what is it, a Black Panther? You don't see too many Black Panthers just floating around the earth anymore. Right. So
that's right.
I think the reality is there. It hurts me to have to agree with you on not being able, to potentially learn certain systems at this point in his career.
Yeah.
I do think what's his name? The running back.
Henry?
Henry is a good fit for a power scheme that you speak of. Yeah. Then they got Mitchell.
Get another running back. Add another one to the mix.
Yeah, they got Mitchell, a really quick running back. So I wouldn't mind seeing him, kind of transform into a more what I call run-centric type offense, heavy play action. Yeah. And, to help simplify, and not that he can't learn it just simplifies having to process, like you say, from the pocket. He can utilize his superpowers, right? Which is getting outside the pocket and doing his thing.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, Purdy, you look at, who else are in these schemes right now? You saw Mac Jones get into that, right? For early when Purdy was hurt and actually had some success in a Shanahan style system. Yeah. You saw Baker Mayfield come in on 2 days notice and run the McVay system. So I know Lamar can pick it up. He's a smart guy. I think the reality is, though,
I just think you got to coach a lot of bad habits out of him that he's.
And those are the kind of guys. But to your point, those are great minds, right? McVay, Shanahan, Kingsbury coming in the Baltimore. He ain't, he's spending 50% of his time, at the salon getting the best haircut. The rest of the time he in a tan booth. The rest of the time he in the gym sculpting his body.
Right.
The rest of the time he dating some supermodel, and I'm saying that in jest, but when you look at, Daniels, but what about the virtual reality glasses, right? He's on the VR. I tell you what's not in them VR glasses, all them damn hits you taking, them ain't virtual. They for real. Exactly. When your arm hanging off, looking like, hanging off your body, your elbow, all twisted and contorted up. So he definitely doesn't need Cliff Kingsbury. Yep. I would lean into someone who's more in the mindset of a Ben Johnson, a McVay, or a Shanahan style offense where you use the run game to really kick off that passing attack. So
I think McDaniels, who's in Los Angeles now, I think he would have been great because he runs a heavy run attack. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that Joker win from where was he at first? He was out in San Francisco, then he made his way down to Miami, and now he ran out there in LA, which I think is a great fit. I actually do like that decision by him. He's sharp. I think he's gonna do well out there. And we lost Bieniemy, man. Matt Nagy got soft fired. I looked up on lunch break, and they said Bieniemy took over as the offensive coordinator.
At Kansas
I'm
City.
waiting for Nagy head coaching news to drop, and nothing happened.
No.
So Eric Bieniemy, running back coach, also had a prickly relationship with Mahomes, and this is what we talk about. I'll say it again. You repeat what you don't repair, right? And Patrick Mahomes got sick of hearing a guy like Eric Bieniemy all in his ear, harping on the little details around the offense. He gets a guy who's a little bit more lax and Matt Nagy, and the offense falls off a damn cliff, right? Yeah. So they're bringing Bieniemy back in KC to be the OC. Yeah. So I think that's a an interesting take. And then your boy Al Harris, who I would like to see get an interview in Dallas. Actually, he's just left Green Bay, which makes sense. He's a former Packer.
Yeah.
I like him a lot too. I think he's a great young offensive. I'm sorry, he's actually a defensive minded talent, and really, really good at what he does as far as being a player's coach, but still holding guys accountable. So I'm a little bit disappointed that you guys, Cowboys, didn't get, him a look, and maybe you guys will, depending on how the things go with Jim Leonhard. So
okay, a lot of news and notes. We'll be getting into more on that. We're gonna wrap up here pretty soon, but let's give a quick prediction here. We got in the AFC, Denver Broncos hosting the New England Patriots without Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham era begins. What do you got winning that game?
I'm going New England. I think Vrabel, McDaniels, too much experience, too much what I call confidence. I think the CJ Stroud and going through the Texans.
Yeah.
By the time they see Stidham, I think they roll them. I think this game is going to be. I'll go New England 31, Denver 24.
Okay. I will say it's a little bit more low scoring. I will say 21-17. I'll probably say that New England will probably win that game. But I will say this: as much as I can't stand Denver, and as far as Sean Payton is concerned, I do think that it's going to be a little bit tougher for Drake May. I tell you what, though, he's got no breaks. He went through the Los Angeles Chargers defense, the Houston Texans defense, and the Denver Broncos defense, and he might end up seeing Seattle. Bro, you go through those 4 defenses and you win, I got nothing to say to you, bro.
I'm very respectful. No, you spot on, Drake May. I salute you. The progress from year 1 to year 2 is clearly evident. And even in that game where he was getting, high, what I call intensity pressure put on him, he responded, man. He's got a lot of moxie. He's got a lot of fortitude.
Yeah.
He's taken on the identity, and he's almost like a robot, man. I don't know if I've seen him smile, frown.
No, he's locked in.
He's locked in, and from it's gonna sound crazy. I think going from that Houston defense to that Denver defense is gonna feel like a little bit of a reprieve, right? Just because of the suddenness of that Houston defense is so damn intense, and it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just having a little bit of time to read the field and get your plays off. I think he's gonna actually, it ain't gonna be an easy day, but I think he's gonna feel.
The road to stay at home, but the weather's better. I mean, it's just a lot. So
I think he's just gonna feel a little bit more comfortable. And I know McDaniels he does a great job of putting him in situations where good spots to make plays. And I just didn't love the way Denver looked against Buffalo. Something didn't look right there. So, with that
Seattle Rams, that this looks like a game. This is the 3rd time they played each other. So this game looks like one that was kind of on the radar as far as in the making. They both were kind of on a collision course with this. Chicago almost derailed it, but the Rams are there. Stafford plays very well against Seattle. They probably won almost every quarter they played against Seattle. But that last game, old quarterback for Seattle, Mr.
Sam Darnold.
Donald. He stepped up. He stepped up, and Sam stepped up, and he played well in the 4th quarter and turned that game around. So who you got there?
I'm gonna shock you. I know we talked about McDonald. I know we talked about how great they look get off the bus.
Yeah.
It's something about that McVay, and it's something about Stafford and these Rams. I'm not saying it because they just beat us. I think anytime you play a divisional foe,
they great, and they still are there.
Yeah, anytime you play a divisional foe for your 3rd time, normally I start to lean offense just because they got Devontae Adams back. They got a few more weapons back. And also I think the reality of all of this is I just don't trust when I start leaning on quarterback matchups, and I just trust Stafford more than I trust Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
so,
I believe you. All right, so I'm kind of with you on that. So there's a part of me that wants to see Seattle. I got a little soft spot there, maybe.
Me too.
Because Tank Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence is over there. I want to see if maybe he can get to a Super Bowl. But then again, maybe not because he talked bad about Dallas. I don't know.
Sure did.
Yeah, he talked bad about Dallas. I don't know. Maybe you stay your ass home. I don't know. But I would say I'm looking forward to
You gave up on me? You gave up on me?
Oh, man. Yeah, so we ain't talking about the fact that Diggs don't have a job no more either. So anyway, he gone. So anyway, I'm gonna say that the Rams probably pull this out. Same thing. I would like to see Seattle do it, but I think I'm gonna go Rams. Okay. And we'll wrap this up. We'll look forward to it. We've kind of hit our wall here.
Man, pray for me, man. We got this apocalyptic winter storm coming through here.
Yeah.
Across the whole, United States. So
yeah, I
I'm hoping I guess we should be good with the Seattle and Rams. Seattle and Rams game.
Yeah.
The Patriots and Denver game.
Yeah.
Is going to be, hopefully not too impacted by the weather. So yeah. It's supposed to be 14, 15 inches of snow.
I don't want bad weather this week. I want these teams to be. I want the weather to be, the conditions to be, very, very fair and stuff. Obviously, Seattle's in the dome. That's no big deal. But
they outside. Remember, they outside.
Oh, they are outside. But they're in on turf.
Yeah.
But the stadium is So, but the odds are they'll probably be okay as far as that.
Should be okay. Denver, it's just gonna be cold. I think it's gonna be cold. I got to look at the weather, report over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. I love football in warm weather. I'm biased though. I'm a Miami guy. I'm a Miami kid, man. Always.
Yeah. I just want the teams to play their best and be in best elements. So we've covered so much here, and we will continue to move forward. We'll start getting into our Lakers coverage and start getting into the draft. Start getting into some of that off-season moves, a lot more content. So we certainly appreciate you staying around and looking to where we are here with the HM Sports Academy. We're growing. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you like this type of content, as we will continue to be adding and growing throughout the year. My name is Mo. This is Harry. We're the HM Sports Academy, and we're going to wrap up and call it a night. We'll see y'all next week, and we'll start talking about Super Bowl and the off season.
Oh yeah. All right, guys.
Have a good night.